Good afternoon. I think this is working. Just not sure. I'll go anyway. Good afternoon. What I've been doing recently is thinking about my rides, my bicycles. As you can see, we've got the tricycle that is Sue's, but she doesn't ride it. We've got the recumbent trike. I've got a Brompton over here, and now I've got this sit up and beg old person style bike, which is actually extremely comfortable. It's got suspension on the front, a suspended seat, a 250 watt motor in the hub, and lights and disc brakes. It's actually, I've spent some time getting the angle of the handlebars and things right, and when I say right, that's so that I can ride some distance with the arthritic problems that I have, and that's all gone well, and it's about ready to try out on a decent ride. I've just tried getting it in the back of the car too, and I can get it in the back as long as I take the front wheel out. So tomorrow, if this camera's working, because it's been playing up, if the camera's working, I'll take you for a ride, hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Okay, well this is actually a day or two later. I couldn't make it yesterday, and now this is the first decent ride on the new machine. Let's see how it goes. Gloved up, ready to go, pedal up. And down. Well, I have adjusted everything now so that I have a very upright stance, which, as I said, hopefully helps with the arthritis. Keeps me cycling for a while. The bike is pretty smooth while it's rolling along. The dual suspension probably helps, as do the slightly thicker tyres at 2 inches. Very similar to the tyres, the Schwalbe tyres we've got on the trikes. We'll see when the road gets into the rough chip seal up here how that goes. Okay, I'll bring it in. Whoa! I'll bring the camera in close to hopefully get the microphone somewhere near my voice. We're on the rough chip seal. Yes, it's very smooth. I can remember when they put this down, it just shook me all over the place. It has settled down a bit since then, but it's still pretty rough. But okay on this. The power assist is quite interesting. It's got 5 levels. The first level doesn't really do too much at all, except get you off the mark. Power level 2, oh, you trickle along the flat at about 15 kilometres an hour without much human input, I suppose. Although when I turned it down to 0, I seemed to go along at the same speed along the flat. Now we're going uphill in power level 3, which is the first one that kicks in with any significant draw on the battery by the looks of it. And that's what I'm using now to get up here, plus a fair amount of foot power. But we do 16 kilometres an hour, so I think when I have a 2-wheel without motor, I'll be down to under 10, going up there about 7, something like that. So it does give you quite a kick along. Now let's see what happens up the next bit. Yeah, we're holding 18. working a bit though. And we seem to have a bit of battery sag with that drawer. Let's kick it down. I'm sort of halfway through the battery, and that was after some riding yesterday, a little bit around the block, about a 15k ride the day before. For today, yeah, it's not actually looking too promising as it is, but there we go. I've got 5 blocks on the display, and we've definitely lost the first one, and going up that hill in third, we've lost the second one, so I only had 3 left. But one annoying thing about the bike is that you put the trip meter down to 0, and it also zeroises the odometer at the same time. So I don't know. I was tracking the individual trips, but the odometer, I had hoped it would tell me how far I'd ridden using the whole battery, for the battery, for one battery charge, how far I could go, but because it's zeroising, no, that information has just gone complete out of my head, and the odometer. Ravens remind me of the old poem we learnt at school, the Trois Corbies. I think they were hanging around to eat a dead soldier. Are the ravens hanging around to eat the dead cyclist? Day again, and how did the bike go? What were my feelings about this Smartmotion bike? Basically, I'm pretty pleased with it. The handlebar position allows me to sit more or less bolt upright, so I've got all the weight off my hands and wrists, which I need. The suspension, yeah, works pretty well. Gives me a smooth ride, makes me smile. The brakes, yeah, they might need a bit cleaning on the discs. They release a little bit every now and then. possibly a little bit of oil or something on them. I don't know, I haven't worked that out, although I doubt that because the pads would then be oily too. Anyway, I'll have a look at that. Battery, I was a little disappointed with the battery as it was yesterday, but I think overall I was trying to explain about the battery level indicator, which is this here, and it has 5 blocks on when fully charged, obviously 1 or none when empty. I was a bit worried that it was going down to 3, had gone down to 3 up the hills, but it's still on 3 at the end of that ride and riding out to Bournemouth this morning. So it's a bit hard to tell how well that's going to go. Still, I do need that how far can I go on a battery question mark resolved, and it will be over the next week or two. One thing I didn't mention yesterday was this, the seat. It is incredibly comfortable. I never really, well, I had a Brooks sprung seat that I had on my previous two-wheeler and on the Brompton, and that's okay, but it's pretty hard to sit on. It's just, I always think it feels as bad at the beginning of the ride as it does at the end, so it wasn't too bad, but I did need cycling shorts with it. This though is remarkable. It doesn't seem to compress. You just sit on it, and I'm obviously sitting upright. I've got a lot of weight on it, and that's going well. So overall, I'm very pleased with the bike. And now it's getting very windy out here. We got rain coming, so I'll get home. Talk to you later.